This morning on the CNN website, it listed the 10 most exciting cities to visit in America this year or in 2014, and Las Vegas, Nevada made, I think, number 6 or 7. If you read it, why is Las Vegas the most exciting? In one short paragraph, it said, because of the Arts District. I first came to Las Vegas in 1968 after a 14-hour flight from Paris, France to LAX. My father picked me up and drove me here to Las Vegas where he was practicing law. This is the view I had, complete nothingness. There was no art galleries, no museums in Las Vegas, but Las Vegas don't need no fucking culture. It is culture. We had Tony Curtis in residence. We eventually had a King Tut museum, of course Elvis. The art galleries that I were used to in the old Vegas were places like this. Eventually, of course, this changed. Now, no one individual created the arts communities of Las Vegas. Steve Wynn didn't, and Dave and Libby did not invent the Las Vegas Art Museum. In fact, that started in 1950, the first arts district at Lorenzi Park. If you want to know more about it, read Bill Fox's book about the whole history of the art and culture here. I've been working in arts districts for years, besides the one down here at CAC. I worked out in Nipton. I did center photography in San Diego for Canon. I started one in Cambodia, and I've also worked at the Goldwell Open Air Museum. From 2005 to 2008, along with my son, I owned the Water Street Gallery in Henderson. I drank the Kool-Aid, put a lot of money into it, and the rest is history. But we had rotating exhibits, we had video production, we had rental dark rooms, and we had giclée printing. So we did quite a few different things. Good business model, just didn't make any money. Thanks to Richard Hooker, about in 2001, I began conducting travel tours for the Smithsonian Institution of people wanting to actually come to Las Vegas to learn about the art and architecture here. We don't do those tours anymore, but it was a very exciting time when everything was going on the Strip for the kind of arts that brought people from around the world. In the early 90s, along with Charles Morgan, we began a series of collaborations, one of them called The Two Sages of the Cactus Patch, which was essentially a commentary and critique against academic art. Both Charles and I were on faculty at UNLV at the time, so we made a series of photographs, most of us running around the desert naked. This is me naked with Jesus. This is Charles. Well, he's fully clothed. There's another naked guy in the trailer, but there were some critiques involved with a lot of what we were doing in those collaborations back then. Eventually, though, we did do some serious work, such as the casino landscapes, 4x5 view camera work in every casino in southern Nevada. The work was highly published in Japan, especially. I've believed in doing a lot of work about Las Vegas. I don't live here anymore, by the way. I moved out in 2008. In 1995, my gallery in New York, OK Harris Gallery, commissioned me to do a series of photographs of some of the old motels, similar to what Richard just showed us. And, of course, most of those places are now gone, as is the Las Vegas Wash. When I was in high school, Bishop Gorman, go Gales, I used to photograph the Las Vegas Wash and have done 5 bodies of work about the Wash, but all of these are now gone. Right here, for example, is a parking lot with a visitor center. So a lot of what I've done is actually quite historical about Vegas now. In 2008, when I closed the gallery, I moved to Florida, where I have a house, and I also moved to Southeast Asia, where I also live. And I began traveling a lot more extensively around Asia and South America, making photographs of a variety of things, and developing and working in global arts communities. So my assistant in Myanmar, Chaswe, Bernardo Crespi, a Cusqueño photographer in Peru, whose handmade camera actually has chemicals in there to develop his prints. Win-Win, a Burmese painter, and a man I've been photographing for 12 years in Kathmandu, Nepal, who makes metal work. During that time, I traveled with an 8x10-inch view camera, so if you're a photographer, you know how big those are. And in 2005, I went to 12 different countries in Asia with the 8x10 view camera. I still like to shoot film, and these are a few other images from Peru and Uxmal and other places where I've been traveling and photographing. We'll call this the fine art stuff that I've done in the past. But I've gotten kind of tired of making art kind of things and prefer really to do more, I'll call them kind of commercial things. So I started a company called eLearning Media, where we produce documentary films in Asia and South America. And these are stills from a variety of projects we've done about Buddhist communities in Asia. So I did come back to Las Vegas a few months ago to work with Kathleen Nathan, who's a business partner and an old friend of mine, and we're developing some travel apps in Las Vegas. And I'm also trying to raise money to produce a series of videos about the Las Vegas arts community, in fact. So if anybody's interested, call me, have a beer with me. Thank you.